Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about finances. So if you are new here, my name is Ami. I am a nurse practitioner, and on this channel, I make videos about nursing. I make videos about mental health. I talk a little bit about finances and some financial tips or things that I've learned throughout the way that help me be successful as much as I can, and I'm willing to share those tips. Hopefully they'll be able to help someone else. I am not a financial coach or analyst or any of that. It's just my own opinion on things that I've used personally that have helped me to be successful. And I also do hair tutorial videos on mostly braiding hair and natural hair. If that's something that you're interested in, please make sure you subscribe. Click that notification bell below so that way you don't miss a video every time that I post. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about finances, and today it's going to be about just mortgage, okay? So we recently purchased our first home, and I wanted to talk to you guys about our process and also why we chose the 15-year mortgage over a 30-year mortgage. Am I regretting it? Am I not? How are things going overall, okay? So again, we recently purchased our first home. This was back in October. So we closed in October. That's when we purchased our first home. And we ended up choosing a 15-year mortgage over a 30-year mortgage. So one of the main reasons why we decided to go with a 15-year mortgage instead of a 30-year mortgage, a big thing had to do with thought process in terms of payment. So the first thing that we had focused on when we were looking for homes is our monthly payments for our mortgages, okay? When we were looking for houses based on a 30-year mortgage, we realized that we were looking for much more expensive houses because the payments were a lot lower because of the amount of time that you have to pay the mortgages over 30 years. So your payment is it's significantly lower when compared to the 15-year mortgage. So once we realized that, okay, that might not necessarily be a good thought process because now we're looking at nicer homes, bigger homes, because we're like, oh, we can afford to pay this a month. And the more we looked into those homes, the more our price go up, our price range in the house that we're looking for. And then so we had to go back and start paying a little bit more attention about, okay, what does this entail when it comes to a 15-year mortgage compared to a 30-year mortgage? And one of the major deciding factors when it comes to deciding on which one to go with is based on the interest, how much interest you'll be paying. So when we were looking at, and they have so many different calculators online that you can use where you're able to plug in how much the home is cost, the interest rate, and your monthly payment and things of that nature. And it'll tell you how much you're paying every single month, how much of it is going to the interest, how much of it is going towards the principal, and then over the life of the loan, how much you're going to be paying the mortgage company. Okay. So when we were looking into that, we were able to take a step back and say, okay, this really does not make much sense. And then we started looking for houses based off of a 15-year mortgage, which means that instead of looking at houses, for example, that are in the $300,000, where your payments for 30-year mortgage might be in the $1,200-$1,300 just for your principal and interest. Now, when you want to cut that down to a 15-year mortgage, your payments might go up to $1,700, $1,800, okay? Which means that if you want to lower that 15-year monthly payment, you need to come down on the price range of the houses that you're looking for. So that was a really major thing. And what happened to us was that when we started looking at that, we realized that all of a sudden cheaper houses look a lot better. When we start looking at the math that involves that, we started realizing, okay, well, especially when it's your first home, you don't necessarily have to go and get a really big house because, again, there's so much that you don't know as a new home buyer. And as time goes on, your family grows or does not grow, depending on what's going on, and your lifestyle may change. You may need to move and things of that nature. Maybe your job changes. So pretty much starting smaller usually makes much sense for some people. Some people that may not be the case. For us, we decided that getting a cheaper home which we're able to pay off in 15 years instead of 30 years, make much sense to us. And another example, again, when I was talking about interest wise, was that even though you're paying higher payments for a 15-year mortgage, you build up equity a lot faster compared to a 30-year mortgage. And another thing also was that if we would have gone with a 30-year mortgage instead of a 15-year mortgage, our interest rate would have doubled. So for example, if you are our mortgage currently, the interest that we're paying on a monthly basis is about $400. If we would have choose a 30-year mortgage, that would have been about $800, which was insane. I was like, I just couldn't get myself to or wrap my head around the idea of paying someone $800 or close to $800 every single month just on interest. And because of the way how the mortgage payments are set up, the beginning of the loan is when the bank or the mortgage company try to get as much money as possible, just in case something happened and you're not able to make any more payments, because life does happen. That way they can get as much of their money as possible. So that's one of the reasons, again, why we decided to get a 30-year mortgage. And another thing too that we thought about was like, well, we can just get a 30-year mortgage and then pay it off as a 15-year mortgage. But again, with America and life happens, chances is that being committed to paying that extra amount that you were gonna add to make it a 15-year mortgage, chances is that life happens and you probably will not be able to make those extra payments. So we decided to get a house that's a little bit smaller, yet the price is not that expensive, and we have a wiggle room between, God forbid something happen, even though it's a 15-year mortgage, we still have a wiggle room where if one person loses their job, we're still able to maintain our home. So to us, that was more of a safer route to go. We were able to build up equity a lot faster, and also we're able to find a house that is not so crazy expensive. So that way we're thinking about down the line, if we want to pay off our home, it's not going to be so crazy expensive because we didn't go out and get a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 house. Okay. So those were some of the reasons why we decided to get a 15-year mortgage. So we've been doing this for about 7 months now. And did I regret, or did we regret getting a 15-year mortgage? Absolutely not. And the payment, we've kind of, after like the first month or two, and before we even decided to get the mortgage, we sat down, we created a budget to know how much we're going to be putting into the mortgage, how much would we have left over after we're done paying all our bills, including the mortgage, so that way we have a lot of wiggle room just in case, again, something happens. So then it's more of like that money that comes out every single month that goes towards the mortgage company. It doesn't even feel, it's not a problem anymore because we factor that into our income. And also when it's not there, you don't miss something that's not there. So it's become a norm compared to if you would have tried again to get a 30-year mortgage and say, okay, because our difference between our mortgage with the 15-year and the 30-year mortgage was about $600. And I feel as though it would have been a lot more difficult to put aside $600 every single month to put towards mortgage. Just because, again, life happens. Every time something happens, you're like, well, maybe let me just use this money for this right now. Or let me use this money for this right now. But because it's already going in there into our 15-year mortgage, we're forced to not even think about it anymore. And we just make our payments. If down the line, again, we have extra money and we want to start really putting a lot more money into our mortgage, we have the option to do so. Another really great thing that helped with this whole mortgage thing was that with the 30-year mortgage, our interest rate would have been slightly higher, and compared to getting a 15-year mortgage, so we were able to get a rate of 2%, which is crazy low. And I've even heard that people were able to get rates even lower than that. Our credit score was really, really good. And I made a video on that, on how to get the perfect credit score or get a really good credit score. So check out on my channel, you're able to see that video. So that helps significantly in our interest rate, which is something that's going to save you a lot of money if you're able to get an interest rate that's a lot lower. compared to the 30-year mortgage. I believe at that time the interest rate that we were getting was like a 2.375%. Again, it's not too big of a deal, but when you're looking at how much money a house costs, that little bit of percentage makes a huge difference. So that's another thing that we kind of factored into as well when it comes to getting a 15-year mortgage. And again, everyone's situation is different. Do what works best for you. But in our case, we decided to go with the 15-year mortgage. If you have any questions, again, I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that. I'm not a realtor, but this is just my experience and when we're going through the process of buying a home and how we came about deciding whether to get a 15-year mortgage or a 30-year mortgage. And these are the factors that we took into consideration when we were making that decision. And I hope this video was helpful. Please make sure you comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you find it to be helpful. And if you have any other questions in regards to mortgages or something that you want to know a little bit more about, please comment down below. And if it's something that I have knowledge about, I'll be more than willing to share what my own personal opinion is, which is pretty much what this video is my own personal opinion and my own personal experience when it comes to buying our first home. I hope this video was helpful. Until next time, guys, take care and be kind to one another, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye, guys.